Hello everybody, how's it going? This is VS here, and I'm bringing you my lockdown free-for-all Mp7 MOAB for the Moabin around the world. And this is my only lockdown MOAB, but I thought it would be good for the Moabin around the world because it's one of my better games, and I usually like using those if I can for my Moabin around the world videos. This does have a few bad things about it. One, as you can see, is I'm using the Mp7, and the other is that I was just patrolling one building the whole game. Well, like, not the whole game, but the majority of the game, and I didn't cut anything out because it's a relatively fast game anyway, and I kind of wanted to have time to talk. But, you know, so I hope that despite its bad qualities, you can enjoy it anyway, because it is a free-for-all MOAB, and I don't know how many of you guys have been in free-for-all lately, but the spawning for Modern Warfare 3's free-for-all has never really been good. I don't know how many times I've had people spawn right in front of me, or I've spawned right in front of somebody. So there's like really no good spawning to the game. So you kind of got to stay in one spot if you want to do good. You don't want to run around because there's no telling where people are going to spawn next. So if you're going to try and go for a free-for-all MOAB, I suggest staying in one area or keeping your back to the wall, and I mean against the wall, because I've spawned 5 feet behind people, like, in the game. Like, it's ridiculous. So that, and the fact that I was staying in the one building and the fact that I was using the Mp7 are the only bad things about this game, but at least it wasn't Domination Spawn Trap A on interchange. And, you know, using the Mp7 or the ACR. Even though I was using the Mp7, obviously. But what I want to talk about today is what makes things newbie and what makes things good. There's so much like rage, and I agree with how silly it is to have Dead Man's Hand and Final Stand, and you know, all those other things that a lot of the big YouTubers, and not even big YouTubers, but a lot of the YouTube commentators consider it as scrubby or newbie. You know, the FMG9s, Type 95, all that stuff that kind of defines a noob. Camping in the corner. You know what makes that newbie? You know, is it just because it's overpowered? Is it because you never see any good people using it? Well, I don't know. But like, then you have what I think is an overpowered gun that's not considered scrubby. And you know, an overpowered gun or an overpowered perk that's not considered scrubby or newbie. For instance, you know, you have with the, like, not so recent anymore, but the SitRep Pro buff, how good it is now. You know, there's not so much hate on it right now, as like Dead Man's Hand, because it's clearly overpowered to me. I think I do so much better being able to sound whore like that, and I don't know who couldn't. I was playing against somebody earlier today that was using SitRep Pro and wasn't doing so hot, so I think what defines an overpowered thing as scrubby or is just overpowered is, I think, how many people take advantage of it, and if it takes any skill at all to use. Like, I think the MK14 is kind of like a SitRep Pro version, I guess, of what I'm trying to say, because it takes skill to be able to aim and hit them twice, I guess, and as opposed to the Type 95 just kind of spraying until you hit them. I mean, I don't know if that's really a good example, but it's kind of what I'm trying to say. With SitRep Pro, you have to have some amount of skill to be able to tell where people are, what kind of terrain they're running on. Like, there's a couple different maps. I think even on this one with the stone where I just shot that guy, and the wood where I'm walking on, there's a different sound, and you can tell where somebody is because of the sound of the platform that they're walking on. Platform, I don't even know if that's right, the floor, you know, the floor that they're walking on. You know, you can tell where somebody is because of that. There are some maps where there are metal things for the person to walk, like that they're walking on, and you can tell where they're at because of that. But you know, with like everything else that people describe as newbie or just stupid, the FMG9s, the Dead Man's Hand, what are the other things? You know, Final Stand, I've already named some of them. Final Stand, then you got the ACR, I don't know, I'm not really sure, I think that's the borderline considered scrubby and just overpowered. The ACR, I think the Mp7's more scrubby than anything, although over half the game runs around with it. You can't get into a game without somebody using an MP7, and it, I don't know. I guess it's not that good of a gun. I don't think it's that good when I use it, but I also feel that way with concussion flash grenades. My concussion flash grenades never seem to last as long as they seem to last to me when somebody throws it at me. With this gun, I seem to not be able to have range, or just the range or accuracy that people seem to have on me when they're using it against me. Maybe that's just me. Maybe it's my internet connection. I definitely wouldn't be surprised if it's that, because I 4-bar now, but I still don't feel like I'm as fast in connection as everybody else is. And I think that puts me at disadvantage. But it's still not as big a disadvantage as a 3-bar. But I think that's what kind of affects how the Mp7 works for me. Also, I do think a lot of people say that this game doesn't take any gun skill. I think it does take a little bit. A lot of people just say it's all internet connection. I do agree on that a lot, because you can definitely outshoot and get outshot a lot depending on how good your internet is. There you see me pick up the Moab, and that obviously means this game's wrapping up, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please like it. If you didn't, then dislike it. Comment either way if you want to. And that about wraps up for this video. So until next video, have a nice day, and I'll catch y'all later.